Avery Tingle, how you doing? Just sitting out here in the fur shed. Figured I'd do a little live here after I got home from the national convention yesterday. Safe back home, Michael? Yeah, I did make it. It was about 7 hours for me drive, but it was fun. It was pretty cool to see the countryside up there. Beautiful. The last hour of the drive was right along Lake Michigan. That was pretty cool. That's a big lake. That's a big lake. So it was pretty cool to be up there. Ty, how you doing? Uh, just sitting out in the fur shed, man. That's about all I'm doing. I made a whole bunch of pogos today, but see that huge beaver pelt? No, I didn't. I saw it on Facebook. That was a big beaver. I saw the picture on Facebook. I wish I would have known it was there because I would have liked to have seen it. I don't know if anyone knows the weight on what that thing was, but holy cow. I seen a picture of it today. Jiminy Christmas. It was a big beaver. But convention was a blast. I don't know what hurts more, my legs or my face, as far as soreness from laughing so hard and walking so much. It was a great time. Avery, you just started beaver trapping. Okay, my first tips would be, depending on what state you live in, I'd use the biggest trap you can underwater. I use footholds. I think footholds are probably one of the easiest things as far as figuring out how to beaver trap. And I'd highly recommend Big Pile Beaver Lure. I've talked to Jeff quite a bit now over a little bit, and he's given me some lure and stuff. Great guy, great company, and make a great lure. Big Pile would be my biggest thing. I know when I started out beaver trapping, when I switched over to that, my catch went way up. So I'd highly recommend that on a caster mount set. Another thing that's big for me while doing a caster mound with a foothold is I like a big pile of mud up on the bank. I think that gives them quite a visual to look at. Even if they're not interested in your lure, beavers just love mud. So I guess that'd be my three things. I'd use the biggest foot trap, big pile, and a big pile of mud. Foot traps keep getting out of the trap, set off, no beaver. How deep are you setting your traps? I know for my beaver traps, I use TS85, so I'm going for a hind foot catch, and I set them in 6 to 8 inches of water. Most of that trap setting off can be from either you're setting your trap too shallow and the beavers are hitting it with their chest, or you're having coons flip your trap over. So I'm curious how deep you're setting your traps. And what traps did you try? You're going to get me all fired up to go beaver trapping now. I've seen quite a few recently when I was fishing for carp on the river. A lot of beaver on that river. A lot of beaver, for sure. Five to 6 inches. What kind of trap were you using, if you don't mind me asking? Because the trap can make a big difference. Pan tension, if you've ever played with that, can make a big difference too. Because I run a TS85, which is a big, giant 8.5 inch jaw spread trap, and I run about 4 or 5 pounds of pan tension on that thing. So big, heavy steel for a big, heavy animal. But yeah, let me know what trap you're using. I'm curious. We'll get this figured out here tonight. But convention was a blast. Haven't said it enough. Me and Iowa Trapper did a live up there together. That was pretty fun. We had a good time up there. We were staying up there with the Sleepy Creek crew and Justin from A&J Skinning Machines. We stayed with him too till he left on Saturday, about halfway through the day. But it was a good time. Had a big fire. A lot of people came over to our fire. I got to meet Mark Dorado from Mountain Men, which is pretty cool. Very humble guy. You'd never be able to tell that he's been on TV. It's pretty cool to meet him. I met Coon Creek up there too and talked to him for a while too. as I talked about on the previous live. But that to me was cool. I remember skinning my first coon. I had his video propped up in the windowsill as I was skinning that first coon of mine. And I don't know, it was just cool to meet the guy who really got me into, especially the fur handling side. To me, that was pretty cool. So, has anyone else started to get ready for season yet? I've been hard away at it here about a week before I left for convention. And today I went pretty good at it too. I put together, I probably ran about 600 J-hooks through the fender washers today, getting them ready to go. I still got to put them on cable and everything, but I got all my 220 pogos done. Those big long, I go like this. They're 4 foot long, but I got all them done. I got all my new 220s out rusting, and they're all double swiveled like I wanted them for this year. All my dog proofs are tagged and cleaned up and put away. I got all my wrap stretchers cut for stabilizers. I've been hard at it out here. It's warm, but that convention especially has really got me ready to trap. We're low 90s, I think, maybe high 90s days away from trapping season. So it'll be here before we know it, that's for sure. Number 3, Bridger coil spring trap. Okay. I know guys that love using that trap for front foot. And most of the guys that I know that'll do it, they'll offset it a little bit for the front foot. And they're putting it in, don't quote me on this because I don't trap for front foot anymore, 3 or 4, maybe 5 inches of water, and they're setting it fairly close to that caster mount. That's what they're using, but they use those traps, those smaller traps. But big thing is you want to get them by that front foot with those. It'll hold a back foot, but not very often. Avery, I'd recommend setting it 3 to 4 inches of water and offset just a little bit from your caster mount. So if your caster mount is right here, I'd set it basically right up against the bank, but I'd set it offset just like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So when that beaver goes up there, smells your lure, he sets that foot down, it's going straight into that trap. That's what I'd recommend. And I'd also recommend, I do this a lot too in my videos, and when I'm trapping, when I put my lure on a caster mount, I actually put a stick in the bank that's right here. So when that beaver goes up, I know exactly where his nose is going to go. It's going to go straight to that stick. When his nose hits that stick is when he drops his feet. And I kind of gauge that distance on where he's going to drop his feet and then where I put my trap and everything else. So I'd recommend I call it a nose stick because that's where I'm relying on them putting their nose. But yeah, I'd recommend trying that too. The boat and motor ready to go. Ty, you trapping out of a boat this year? That'd be pretty fun if you were. I'd be pretty jealous. Ruger, how you doing? I'm more just sitting here reminiscing on how fun convention was. I think I slept for about 12 hours straight last night, but man, was it a fun convention. Caught 1, that, and 9 in a body grip trap last year. Huh. Avery, if you don't mind me asking, what state are you from? That'll kind of give me a gauge on what your beaver habitat is like. Because I know, like, if I lived somewhere where I could use a half submerged 330, that's probably about all I would run. But I unfortunately don't. And if you're up in like any of the northern states, where you got lodges and bank dens and stuff everywhere, 330s would definitely be the way to go. Ruger, they really are rubbing off on me. I think it's especially because trapping season's starting to get a little closer. And anyone I talk to around here just basically thinks that I'm nuts because all I think about and talk about is trapping. So I like getting on here and talking trapping with guys who actually are guys and gals who are just as passionate about it as I am. I find it fun. Gets me even more excited than I should be. From Canada, Gary, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping in. Trapping Bros, how you boys doing? You getting pumped up for season? Avery, you're in Louisiana. Okay. I've never trapped there, but I do know a handful of people that have, and they like the footholds. But there's also, if I remember right, there's a lot of different pinch points down in that part of the country because you guys got more water down there than we do. And I know a lot of guys that'll trap them with conibears and pinch points too. And another thing I'd say too, if you're more confident in a conibear set, take that and run with it. You know, you don't have to listen to me and try and do what I do because what I do works for me where I'm from. Where you're at, I mean, that's a totally different ball game. As far as the beaver goes, it's a totally different animal. I mean, there's no real winter. They don't have to hurry to get food piled up because it's going to freeze or nothing. So if you're confident in that, in your conibears, I'd say stick with them for sure. Ruger, I did get some new boards. I got those from the FTA up in Jefferson in June, I think it was. Sometime in June. I bought them. They're all top lot stretchers. I really love their boards. Nothing can really – I've never had a board that will take a pin so easily. I mean, it's like you're pushing basically into nothing. So I love their boards. I got 10 dozen that I ran of them last year back there, and I got 10 dozen that I just bought right here. So I have all the confidence in the world in them boards. Trapping Bros, you are getting pumped. Good. Before you know it, you'll be about as bad as me to where you can't sleep at night. Boston, what's my favorite trap? Depends on the animal I'm going after. Raccoon, I'd probably say the 220, whether it's a dry land trail or boxes. Probably my favorite way to trap would be with 220 boxes. I absolutely love 220 box trapping. To me, that's just so fun. You don't think you can really catch a coon in a box sitting there with some fish in it, but man, you can hammer them if you get it to a certain time of year. So I'd say for coon, that's probably my favorite kind of trap. Beavers, TS85. I won't use anything else. Jersey, we only have conibears with snares. Yeah. They're regulating a lot of stuff out in certain places. Basswood, yeah, Ruger, they are basswood, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure. I just noticed they actually changed their logo. On the other boards I got, they got a howling wolf on there or something, and now they got a couple American flags on there, so it's pretty cool. Made in the USA. Half submerged 330s and NC. Oh man, Michael, I'm so jealous. That's been a thing us Iowa trappers have wanted for quite a while now, is those half submerged 330s. And I'm just hoping, this sounds bad, but I'm really hoping the beaver population gets a lot higher, because it seems to be a trend in Iowa to where if populations get high enough to where they're really affecting crops and crop damage, they really start changing laws fast, because the guys with the big money want them dead because they don't want crop damage going on. So I'm jealous of you. I really wish that we could do that. My couple TS85 footholds. Yep, Gary, 100%. That is my absolute. A TS85 to me is an absolute cheat code for beaver trapping. Man, do I love them. That's another thing too. The second I started running them, the catch rate just went up. It's such a big trap. Your trap placement really has some flex to it because it's such a big trap. And they'll get a big old back foot in them. Yeah, America. Amen. Got ate by a beaver last year. Thought he was dead, but it wasn't. Yikes, Avery. I've never had a beaver that I thought was dead that wasn't, but I've had a couple possums that I've went up to that were still alive in conibears. And the worst story that I have about something still being alive in a conibear was a skunk. I thought the skunk was dead. I went, pulled my rat stretcher up, picked up the 220, and it picked its head up and looked at me and sprayed. safe to say I was not a happy guy. So I check on the skunks every single time now, and that was in a brand new Duke. So skunk's got a really small neck on them. So now I check every single time. Hey, you catch a fox because I'm just getting into trapping. Boston, it depends. I'm not a fox trapper by any means. The only fox I catch are incidental fox. But I'd recommend I think most guys run a 1 3/4. A lot of guys will run a 1 3/4 to anywhere from that to a number 4. They'll run dirt holes and stuff and catch a lot of fox that way. The guys that are using the number 4s want to catch coyotes too, because they're both a canine, and essentially you use the bigger trap, you're going to have better luck catching the coyotes. And you'll get the fox still too. But yeah, I'd do that. I'd try something skunky. The only fox I've really ever caught in a dirt hole, I was using something pretty skunky. So I'd give that a shot. I'd use a 1 3/4. 1 3/4. If you just want fox, a 1 3/4 to maybe a number 3 or something. I know the Bridger number 3s, guys really love those for stuff like that. Can't use TS-85s in Illinois. Man, that would suck. Ty, you probably do quite a bit of front footing for beaver then. I wouldn't want to use anything other than the TS-85 for a back foot, really. Other than the new Bridger number 5, I think I say new, it came out about a year ago, I think. That new Bridger number 5 dogless. I played with those a little bit at convention, and they're a really strong trap. It took quite a bit from me to set one, but they're a pretty big trap too. And then I messed with those, if any of you guys got them, those Duke 850s. Man, there's no way I could set one with my hands. My hands aren't big enough to even cover the jaw spread of that trap. And those springs are so strong, and the levers on that trap are short. And no way I could set it with my hands. That I wouldn't feel comfortable setting it with my hands. I'll put it that way. You've seen some different countryside when you went to the convention. Oh yeah, Ruger. Like I said earlier, the last hour of that drive was right along Lake Michigan, and I mean right on. Like I could see the lake from the road the whole time. It was pretty cool. It was awesome. The mosquitoes were only bad one night too, so that was good as well. And then my tent blew away the next night. So, but I've already spent enough time on the last live talking about that catastrophe. Yeah, they are stout for sure. What part of Iowa do I live in? I'm about smack dab in the middle of the state, Boston. You can use water set traps, firearms, pretty much anything in Louisiana as long as it's causing damage to property. Yeah, Avery, I'd recommend some TS-85s. If you can use them. I don't know the regulations for everywhere else. I have a hard time just trying to keep up with the ones in Iowa because there's a lot of gray areas and fine print and all that other stuff. But I'd recommend some TS-85s. They got a pretty good price tag on them. But other than that, I mean, they're, in my opinion, best beaver trap hands down. But the 850 can be modified to meet the regs. True, Scab. True. I guess if you know how to modify your traps too, you can make them about any size you want to. Last time I bought them was $2.95 a dozen. I'm pretty sure, or $28.50 a piece. I think. Pretty sure, something like that. Can't use TS-85. Might want to try the No BS Beaver. I've heard a lot of good things about the No BS Beaver traps. The only things I've heard about them is they are too powerful because they are 4-coiled, and a TS-85 is 2. But I've never tried to set one, so I guess I don't know. And they make setters for all these traps too, if you guys can get them set. But yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about that trap too. I'm pretty sure it's smaller too, if I remember right. I think it's a 7 1/4 or 7.5 inch jaw spread, something like that. $130 for 6 traps last year. Yeah, Avery. And that's the thing too. If you got a budget, by all means, use whatever fits your budget the best. There's a lot of people that don't want to spend the money on the TS-85s, and I absolutely get it. But to me, especially with beaver prices, how they are right now, I would highly recommend investing in them. Like last year, I bought a couple dozen more TS-85s, but I went into it knowing that every beaver I caught, one beaver would pay for that trap. So you just got to look at it that way too, and your budget, work it in there, what you can afford, what exactly your goals are for the year, and go from there. $4.98 a dozen for TS-85s. Holy smokes! You should have came to the the national convention. They were going for $2.95, and we weren't too awful far from Canada. Wow, that is wow. What's that come out to? 12, over $40 a trap. Yikes. Love your channel so much. Oh, thank you, Boston. I appreciate it, man. If you ever have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments or whatever. I try and answer everything that I can in a timely manner. I try and get to almost all of them in the first day. So if you ever have any questions about anything, bud, just let me know. Just leave them in the comments. I'll get to them. What's going on? Tried your rods for drowners. Love them. Except in rock. Love you too. Art. Thank you. Yeah. The drowning rods work really good. The rebar. But like you said, you get in rocky places, it can be a struggle. My advantage is I'm young enough and dumb enough to where I'll just bang it in there enough to where I'll eventually get it to hold. But yeah, I hear you on the rocks. If you get them in some good clay, though, it's hard for me to even get them out. There sure ain't going to be no beaver that gets them out of some good clay. H2, favorite dog-proof bait. I use cat food mixed with pure anise. I actually got, hold on a second, I'll show you what it is. I got some of it here. It's kind of a more old school thing, and a lot of people don't even know what it is anymore. But I mix this in my cat food, pure anise extract. Basically what it is black licorice smell. Basically what it is. I'll pop the jar out of here. I buy them in bulk, so they come in boxes like that. But here's all it is. Pure anise extract. I mix that with some cat food, and that's what I use. I've used plain cat food too. I just like that anise to give them a little more drawing power is all. Trapping with Jinx. How you doing, man? I was hoping you'd be up there at the NTA. It was a good time, man. One thing bad happened last year. Beaver chewed through the wire of the foothold, and then about 2 weeks, caught the same beaver at the trap. Wow, Avery. Yeah, I've heard of people doing that, losing a beaver and then catching them. But yeah, that's quite a story. $130 cost of traps I lost in the first few weeks of season. Scab, you're not kidding. The second day of season, second check of season, I lost about $400 in traps. I was so happy about that. So happy. But if you're like me, you got to just keep moving. I got I got a line that's out that's so big that them stealing that much equipment really doesn't affect me. And I still got a lot more traps to check. So kind of just got to get over the theft. Being mad about it sure ain't going to fix anything. Occasionally you can be lucky and track down the people that stole your stuff like I did beaver trapping. But yeah, that's just something you have to deal with. It's all a mental thing, really. Too old to bang those rods into a rocky bottom. I walk back to the truck and get a cable anchor. Gary, yeah, and I don't blame you at all. I'm not talking about Canada, so I'm going to assume that that's probably where you're from. But we don't have much rock in our creeks here, and if we do, it's that big river rock that they dump into our creeks. And those bridges, unless I can get around that stuff, I don't even set them. It's just not worth it to me. They're too rocky. But by the way it sounds, is that you're from Canada. And that's a totally different ball game than here, so I don't blame you for running a cable anchor one bit. What do you think of Stu after seeing him? Ruger, that guy's awesome, man. I got along with him really well. I talked to him probably throughout the 2 he was there, probably a couple hours. Really cool dude. Really cool dude. Talked for a while about basically everything underneath the sun. I don't know. I got along with him pretty good. I'll be at Sioux City, South Dakota next year. Okay, Jinx. I'm hoping to do. I think that one's quite a bit closer than this year's, if I remember right. So should be a good time out there. I did get enough pogos. I think I got 1,200 washers from the convention up there. So I got about half of them with J-hooks in them already today. And I'm going to do up about 200 more of them and then make all those into pogos and save the other ones for reserves in case I need a bunch more later. But yeah, I did get the rest of them I needed, finally. Not like you, hunt them down as much as I can. Yeah, Scab. The bottom line is I just don't have time to during season. I'm so busy all the time. I'm lucky to get 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night for the first week especially, and that's when I normally get my stuff ripped off. So that's normally when it happens, that first week. I do got a little trick I'm going to try this year. If he hits that road again and steals my stuff, though, if he steals my stuff this year, I promise you guys, I will catch him, because the way that I thought of, I don't see how it can fail. So hopefully he tries it, and hopefully it's the same guy that got all my stuff last year. Then I can get a whole bunch of equipment back. That's all I got to say about it. Here in Washington, cage is all we can use. Single Comstock beaver cage. Yeah, Tristan, that's no joke, too. Those Comstocks are not cheap at all. As you know, obviously. But yeah, I got some cousins out in Washington. They're quite a bit younger than me, but they really wanted to just go trap a little bit. And I'm like, well, I'll check on the regs and, see what happens. Well, I checked the laws. I'm like, cage traps only. I'm like, man, that's a bummer. But yeah, $350 that's expensive. Trapping Bros, thank you. You got the next gen on the front, and then there's the back, kind of. My girlfriend actually came up with the design, and that's kind of what I went with. I sold some up at the convention, kind of distributing them out to people who bought them here over the summer at various conventions and stuff. So I wish you boys could get a hold of me on Facebook or something. If you did, or shoot me an email on here, and I'll get you 2 pair of shirts, and I'll give them to you at a convention or something here. My email is on my YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Unless you guys have me on Facebook, then just go that route. I'll get you boys some shirts. Pretty good deals at conventions. Ruger, there really is. And there's no tax for the most part. That's the biggest deal. If you want to buy stuff in bulk, especially, conventions is where it's at. I know Iowa Trapper got a really good deal on some 1.5s up there that were basically brand new. There's a lot of other really good deals I just couldn't afford. Basically because I spent all my money at the first convention. So, but the biggest deal that I hopped on pretty hard up there was a bunch of those 5-gallon square buckets that I want to use for my fish. A guy had them up there for sale for $2 a piece without the lid, or $2.50 a piece with the lid. And I bought a whole pile of them. I went home with a truck full of them. So that was my good deal up there, I guess. PA Trapping, how you doing, man? What about putting Apple AirTags on the trap? Scab? Yep. It's a good idea. Watching one of the videos right now. So good. Boston, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you watching. I really like hearing that there's some youth on here watching my videos. Really hope you leave me some comments or questions, and don't ever feel like you're leaving too many questions. I'll do about anything I can to get some youth some good, strong advice and kind of help you get into it a little bit. Heck, that's how I really got into trapping, was reaching out to people through YouTube, and I've built up quite a few contacts now too, just through YouTube. So don't be afraid to ask me anything, bud. Iowa Trapper, it's about time, man. Been on here for 30 minutes. I was wondering if you went to bed already, like the last day of convention. You always give me a bunch of grief for going to bed so early, and there we are, the last day of convention, last night all together, and you went to bed at like 12. He's telling me about them. Ruger, he really did. Yeah, that was a steal for sure. He's going to make the previous gen merch. Scab, the guy who just came on here, I wouldn't say he could be the previous gen, but that name doesn't sound very good. Maybe like the old. I like to call him old. It makes him mad. All jokes. I'm just kidding. Ruger, yeah. Ottercat, I did survive. I'm here, man. I'm still here. We're up until 2 a.m., a couple days a little later, every night up there. But I did survive. My tent is out drying out right now because it almost blew away. But other than that, we made it. Perfect, trapping bros. Have her send me. So there's orange like this, there's gray, and then there's green. Whichever one you guys want, tell me the color and the size, and I'll get you boys some shirts. Missed my whole live last night. Iowa Trapper, I was tired, dude. I couldn't believe. I was like, you know what? We just got back. You know, if there's any night that he's not going to do a live, I know he's tired. I bet it's going to be tonight. And I'll be danged if you didn't go live right before my head hit the pillow. I was like, oh, I want to get on there. I think about 2 minutes after my head hit the pillow, I fell asleep. So would have been on there, but man, I was tired. Get your notifications the next day in Iowa, and I try to watch and send videos private or something. Huh, PA, that's interesting. I guess I don't really know what you're talking. I think you're talking to Iowa Trapper. How many traps you said here? Boston, I don't. If you're talking about the amount of traps at a time, anywhere from 100 to 350. Last year, the most I had set was the opening week. I had 370 traps I was running. Throughout the year, I probably trap, oh boy. I probably set, I'd say over 1,000 traps. A lot of the same ones, obviously, just moved around. But yeah, spent a lot of time setting traps and moving around stuff for sure. The roll, Iowa Trapper. All right, I have an 8-year-old that goes and helps me. Give him $10 for every beaver we get. That's awesome, Art. Glad to hear you're getting someone into it for sure. I got a couple kids I need to get a hold of actually that I met during beaver season that really want to get more into trapping. They don't know nothing about it. They just want to learn about it. And I told them I'd teach them. So I need to get a hold of them too. So I can't get tired, but it's okay if you're tired. Yeah, we were at convention, man, having a blast. I basically told myself after the first 2 days I wasn't going to bed before 2 a.m. because I had a feeling something bad would happen to me with you guys out there if I was sleeping. So I stayed up till at least 2 every day just to prevent that from happening. Because if one of you guys would have got the old bunny blanket picture, man, my career would be over. I'd never hear the end of that one. Avery, I do deer hunt. I absolutely love the deer hunt. I'd argue that I like deer hunting almost as much, if not a little more than trapping. If that tells you anything. Um, yeah, I love the deer hunt. Big Iowa whitetails. Stacy, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. Michael. Iowa talks about being old, but old people have to go to. Yeah, that's a fair point, Otter Cat. I actually had someone, who was it? Someone told me that the older you get, the less you sleep. I don't know. I forget who told me that. That's a bummer. Someone at convention told me that. Okay, his lives he deletes. Okay, that makes more sense. Dan Larson, yeah, I'll be there. I got class on Friday, so unless I can really convince my professors to let me leave, I'll probably be there Friday night and then Saturday. I'd really like to be there both days, but I'll definitely be there Friday night and Saturday for sure. About Iowa. Yeah, PA, yeah. I know I wanted to watch his recap of the convention as well, just to see what he was saying about some of the stories that we had. But it wasn't up there, so I got kind of bummed out by that. I wanted to listen to it today when I was making pogos. So the other 3 nights when I outlasted you doesn't count. I'm not going to count them. I only set out like 6 in the year. Yeah, Boston. Yeah, but you just said, I think you said you're 12 years old. Heck, when I was that age, I was checking traps on my bike. And that's no joke. I actually, when I was a kid, about your age, I had a bike and I took one of those red wagons and I wired it to the back of my bike and I'd bike up and down the roads. And I think I had like half a dozen traps out or something. And the one day I came home with 3 big coon and about had a heart attack at a very young age, because where we used to live was pretty hilly. And yeah, I know how you feel, man, though. It don't matter how many traps you're running as long as you're out there having fun. Ruger, I did learn anything. I did learn some stuff for sure. I learned that Iowa trapper can't jump over fence very well. That was one thing I learned. Yeah, I learned a lot. Met a lot of new people. It was fun. Figured that Iowa would have been getting your notifications. Many meetings. Do you like to fish out Boston? I love to fish. I catch quite a few walleyes in the spring. Love to walleye fish right when they hit that post spawn. I can really catch them. And then all summer long, I just fish for carp. I think a lot of people don't realize how fun carp really are to catch on rod and reel. But man, you go out and catch 15 or 20 carp a trip, they'll whoop you. I mean, they are some strong fish. So that's basically what I do all summer is I go out carp fishing so I can use them for bait. Yeah, Iowa trapper. It was over 60 in here a little bit ago. Biggest deer you've ever killed? Avery, biggest deer I killed was a 177 and a little bit of change on it. I think it had 13 scoreable points. That's my biggest. An albino raccoon. I've never caught an albino. I'm gonna have to bring it out here some night. When I do a live, but I have caught a blonde raccoon, and the only blonde on it was down the back. Other than that, it's pitch white. So close, but not just pure white. Unless you sleep due to honeydews, kids. Yeah, that too. 68, 6 hours is all I need. Yeah, Art, I hear you. Me personally, I can't sleep for too long. Otherwise, I'm tired all day long. I don't know if anyone else gets like that, but if I get more than 7 hours of sleep, I'm dog tired the next day. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. Ruger and Trapping Bros, you kind of just asked the same question, so I'll answer you both. But I'm going for business management. really wanted a broad degree that I could really do anything that I want with. So that's what I went with. Quit deleting them. People weren't there, comment or interact. Nobody would want to watch it. Apparently I'm wrong. What you don't understand, I've told you, I like to listen to podcasts and stuff, and your old lives are one of them. If I can't hop on there, I like to listen to them. If I'm out here working or something, I like to listen to basically anything that has to do with trapping. So I like listening to them. I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but when I was a kid. Yeah, Scab, most people would say that I'm still a kid. Most people. Ruger, exactly. Carp are a blast. I call it the carp zigzag, because every time you're fighting them, you don't ever get much because they'll go like this the whole way in. They're an absolute blast to catch. I miss it because you start them late. I'm an hour ahead. PA Trappin', you're not wrong. He started them as late as I swear that one he did was like one in the morning or something, maybe later than that. Pretty late, past my bedtime, which according to him is like 9 o'clock at night. But yeah, past my bedtime. Out over 40 traps. I plan to set all of them. Awesome, Boston. Sounds like you're going to get after it, man. All the luck. Like I said earlier, if there's anything I can do to help you out, just let me know, bud. Do you have any goals for this year, Boston? I'm just kind of curious. If you don't, there's no problem with that by any means. I'm just kind of wondering what species you're going after. If you have anything you're really trying to accomplish this year, other than having fun. Guess I never viewed them as a podcast. Interesting. Good to know. Yeah, Iowa Trapper. I mean, they are. Don't take this the wrong way, but I won't necessarily look at them at all. But I'll listen to them. I'll put them over my radio out here and just kind of listen to them. I don't like spending a long time without learning something, if you will. Every time I listen to a trapping conversation, there's always something I can pick up that'll make me think differently about something, or maybe I'll want to try something different. And your lives are the exact same way as all the podcasts out there. You just kind of learn something new every day when you're listening to stuff like that. They make something good to listen to at work. Exactly, C. Bartley. When I'm working out here especially, I love listening to stuff like that. Don't screw with it. Yeah, Ruger, you're not wrong. Like I use corn for mine. And there's been a couple times I thought I was going to lose my rod. Yeah, they take off. There's some of them that'll kind of peck at it, and you got to hold your rod there and get them. But a lot of them, if they're really biting, they're going to take your rod pretty close to into the water. Yeah. I had giant 8 on camera last year. Caught the neighbor, permission to hunt the land, move my stand, my camera. Same. The big 8 came out right before dark. Oh, man. Nice. Yeah. You can't get me fired up about deer hunting and trapping at the same time, man. You're really going to get me pumped up. Not to mention some of us at night. Yeah, work at night, yeah. No, I don't doubt that at all. I bet those late night lives like that would be really fun at work. Luckily caught the one the other night. Iowa, did you ever... Jeff, how you doing? It was nice to meet you up there at the convention, man. Iowa Trapper, please don't send me winking emojis. Oh, my goodness. I actually said right before you came in here, I think it's more of just getting closer to season. And now the trapping wheels are really starting to turn. And all I want to do is talk trapping. So now I get on here and ramble to everyone about trapping. They're fun. Brown banana mixed together until you can make a small ball. Yeah, Ruger, I just use corn. Reason being, cheap. I buy my corn for 85 cents a can until the sweet corn's ripe. Then I just use sweet corn right from the patch. So I've heard that pack bait stuff, which I think is what you're talking about. It's called pack bait. I've heard it works pretty good. I just don't want to lug all that stuff around when I'm kayaking on the river, and I just take a can of corn. I got some pics and a couple of vids from the convention. Otter Cat, I hope that you're joking, because Justin Steins told me he told me that he was about to break out the camera the one night for Otter Cat. That's exactly what he said, and I was getting pretty concerned. Really, Jeff? For me, wasn't too bad. And I drove through Madison and Bay, Oshkosh, all those big towns. The drive for me wasn't bad, but I hit all of them, which the reason why I left so early was so I hit all of those kind of in the dead time of traffic. So it worked out pretty good for me. Now, when I went to the convention in Jefferson, Wisconsin, the FDA, I went through Madison during the morning rush hour. Never again. That was horrible. I hope it wasn't that bad for you, because that was terrible. Avery, what do you mean by selling anything? Are you talking like the stuff I trap? Because if you are, then I sell basically everything you can think of off of those animals. Maybe he wasn't the one. Why more winking emojis? I was just totally fine with the statement. I was just reading it. I'm like, oh yeah, blame Iowa again, And then the winking emojis, just, man, I don't like that, and I know you're going to use that to the full extent now. Boston, your goal is to catch a fox. Good luck to you for sure. Fox are fun to catch. For sure. I've never tried to actually catch one, but they're fun to catch. Beautiful too. Beautiful. No, Ruger, no more winks. I don't like the winks at all. Not at all. Got turned around in Madison. Yeah, Jinx. Yeah. It was bad. And then there's that, which you probably know, Iowa Trapper will know what I'm talking about, but there's that stretch of road construction right before you hit Madison too. That's just a horrible spot to be. Thankfully, I hit it just right where I didn't even have to slow down going through there on my way home. But on the way up there, I was stuck in that for probably 10 to 15 minutes. Saw a nice beaver dam, though, while I was sitting there in traffic. So I guess it was kind of worth it. Trapping, bro. So I'm 6'1", about 190 pounds now, and I wear a large, and it fits me just fine. So I guess just based that, and they won't shrink up at all either, guys. They fit basically just right, in my opinion. As far as compared to other clothes, I think they fit just about right. But yeah, you guys just message me what color you want and the sizes, and I'll send you each a shirt. Tried to go over the Mackinac Bridge Saturday. Oh, yeah. It seemed like a lot of people went over that, or wanted to anyways. They wanted to go over there and see it. And it was backed up 6 hours. Wow. Yeah, that might be worse than what I went through in Madison. Holy smokes. I feel bad for you now, man. There's nothing that drives me nuts more than getting stuck in traffic, man. That must have sucked. Don't you wink at the girlfriend? Otter Cat, I can't say that I do. Oh, man. Otter Cat, there was something I was going to take to convention, and I was going to prank Iowa Trapper with it, and I totally forgot about it. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I totally forgot about bringing it. So disappointed in myself. Always next year. What do you think I should try to catch this season? Boston, it's totally up to you, man. Catch whatever you want to catch. I know for me, raccoon is my deal. I love to catch raccoon. And I like at convention, we talk to a lot of people, and a lot of guys are like, man, there's just nothing like a coyote bouncing in a trap. And I'm like, because they're just not my thing. The feeling that they get pulling up, seeing a coyote bouncing and getting all excited, that's what I get for every single coon that I see. A lot of people don't get that way about raccoon, but I guess I'm just crazy enough and love raccoons enough that that's all I want to catch. Raccoons and beavers are my gig, but to each their own. It's kind of just one of those things. I would say whatever you catch, whatever gets your heart racing more than everything else, that's what I'd really go for. And maybe if you're new to it, maybe try a little bit of everything. Just kind of figure out really what you want to focus on. They were wanting to send you one also. What do you mean, Ruger? I think they were wanting to send you one also. Oh, send me a shirt? If they message me on Facebook, I'll send them a thing on where to send it, bud. Sorry, I didn't get that right out the gate. I was kind of confused. Oh, geez. Now Trapping Bros in it. Oh, geez. Here we go. So remember when Diego got blown off the Mackinac Bridge? I keep hearing this Mackinac Bridge thing. I'm assuming it's the thing that people kept posting pictures of on Facebook. Must have been. I think it's that really big bridge that goes over the lakes, if I remember right. How'd I forget that? Right, Ottercat? I was so disappointed in myself. Honestly, I was. That was the one thing I really needed to bring, and I forgot it. Ruger, I'm glad that you don't know how to wink on here. Fox and coyotes are most of what I catch. 40 reds off our farm. Wow. Oh, yeah, you guys are on the East Coast. You got really good fox trapping out there. Or at least I know you guys used to. I'm sure you do now still too. But, yeah, fox are fun to catch. Coyotes too, yeah. And I'm not saying that trapping coyotes isn't fun. It's just for me, I wake up every morning and want to trap raccoons. That's just how it is for me. I'll always be a raccoon. Yeah, exactly, Iowa. Unless there was enough water for you to muskrat trap, then I bet you would change that for a year at least. Donnie Grover, welcome. Oh, now Ottercat's winking. This is terrible. This is. Whoa, I'm way behind. Way behind. Beaver, otter, and cats here. Yeah, all are fun. Otter are really fun. I'm at the age heart racing. I need to sit down or go to the doctor. You act like you're so much older than you are. Otter, beaver, cats make the heart. Oh, yeah, Judith. Dan, 100%. Boston, there you go. If you absolutely love catching coon, I'd say go after as many coon as you can. I feel you there, bud. I love catching raccoons too. Someone is watching and female beaver would not come to scent private pond. Do you have Snapchat? Boston, I do have Snapchat. Trapping Bros, no. That's a terrible idea. One trip for rats for me. I'll chase raccoons till the day I can't. Yeah, I feel you. The rat thing would be fun, though. The one thing I would really love to do is trap muskrats in the hut. I would take time off of coon trapping if I had an opportunity to do that. I think that'd be the coolest thing. That and trap beaver up north, and all the lodges and everything with half submerged 330s. I'd absolutely love that. But yeah, it wouldn't take long, and I'd want to go kill coon again. There's a lot of otter and cats here. I have a lot where I live. Are you in a state where you don't have a limit on otter? Because for me, catching an otter is almost a bad thing because we can only keep 3. And you fill up your limit pretty quickly. But if you're in a place where you don't have a limit on otter, it'd be an absolute blast. I definitely get that. Oh, now Scab's winking. Man, this is gonna be a repeating thing. I got a feeling. All the winking emojis. They have been around Iowa too long. What do you mean, Ruger? I'm confused again. I was trying to read through too many comments at once. They've been around Iowa too long. Are you talking Iowa the person or the state? Love to go to Canada and trap a bear. Yeah, Patrick, that'd be fun. That would be fun. I went bear hunting up there. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. You never believe how quiet those bears can come in. It's pretty crazy. Iowa Trapper, absolutely, dude. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun. We need to do one a little bit later in the evening, I think, and do it for a little bit longer. I felt like we cut that off pretty short, but we had other activities to attend to. So, yeah, we need to do one, or at least a couple more, I'd say, before season gets here, which soon I'll be right down by anyway, so it'll be a lot easier to do that. Donnie, that's awesome, man. That'd be fun to trap otters. No limit. That'd be awesome, especially if they're populated that dense. That'd be pretty cool. You have Fisher around you. We can take one a year and see that. No, see, Barley, we don't have any Fisher around here. I talked to a lot of people that do trap Fisher up at the convention up there. I will say that. Quite a few of them up there. Sounds like a pretty interesting animal to trap. Terrible thick battle. Donnie, I don't doubt that one bit. The only good thing an otter's for is cleaning out a pond, and that ain't a good thing. So, yeah, I bet they are hard on the population. Scab? Oh, geez. Wow. No, not at all. Absolutely not. Oh, with the winking faces. Okay. She did. That was so funny. What was it? Mr. Iowa at the food truck? That was so funny. She even wrote that down on your receipt or your, whatever you want to call your order. She put Mr. Iowa. My favorite part was the way she said it. That was hilarious. Not the numbers there used to be, but yeah, I bet. If it's a good sized marsh, wherever it is, I bet it is pretty good to trap muskrats. I wish we had a good sized marsh around here for sure. That had water in it. Trapping bros, man. So many winking faces. 35 otter a year, Donnie. Holy cow, that's some work, man. That's awesome. You're lucky. You are lucky. I feel like a guy in Iowa could catch that, but you can't keep them. They're getting pretty bad around here too. See, they're just acting like Iowa right now. Yeah, Ruger, you should. Iowa Trapper can be a pretty bad influence. He turned me into a production coon trapper. If that tells you anything. So, all jokes. Scab, I don't think I'd prefer the kissy face. Definitely not. I was just trying to avoid you sending me a bunch of those next. Wait, bobcats. Boston, I take that back. I've caught 2, both incidental. I had to release one because I was in a county where I couldn't keep it. But this year I finally did catch one in a 220 that I could keep. Again, I've never tried to catch them because I live in a county where you can't keep them. I trap in a couple counties where you can keep them, but never ran into one until this year that I could actually keep. Like flipping an otter in a canoe. Yeah. Clean out a pond in a few days. Yeah. That's no joke. We've had them get in our pond before. To say that it sucks to wait until trapping season to try and get them out of there when you just see the amount of fish that they're killing, it's terrible. It's terrible. Trapper Bob, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Perfect. We'll just stick with the winks then. All right. I saw the one you caught in the 220. Yeah, Boston, that's the only one I've ever caught that I kept. It's at Sleepy Creek Tannery right now getting tanned. Yeah, pretty cool though. It snowed that night, so it was buried in snow. And when I just thought it was a coon laying there, I brushed the snow off and I'm like, because I didn't even have the camera on when I first walked up to it. And I brushed the snow off of it and looked at it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I lost my mind. I was so excited. So excited. Donnie, you're from Tennessee. Okay. Yeah. I bet there are quite a bit of otter down there. That's down south quite a ways. Dry here in North Dakota. Grandpa Bob, I got a feeling it's about dry almost everywhere. It's terrible here. We haven't gotten a rain in a long time. We got, I think it was 2.5 inches of rain 2 weeks ago, and the river didn't even come up. It's that dry. I know people that follow the 3 S's when it comes to cougar and otter here in California. Patrick, I don't know what that means, but I'm kind of curious. Yeah, Ruger, and I don't blame you one bit. If I wouldn't get in a bunch of trouble for it, I'd gladly remove the otters out of our pond instantly. Thankfully, they haven't gotten in there in the last couple of years. But yeah, I get that too. Shoot, shovel, and shut up. Yep. I know a lot of people that do that too. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, especially with bag limits. When the populations on otters are just so high around here, I just wish they'd take that limit away. I think the DNR would be very surprised at how many otters would show up to be tagged if that bag limit was not there. That's all I'll say. I think they'd be shocked. Iowa Coon Creek is awesome, dude. I talked about it a little bit before you got on here. It's kind of like what I told you. It's kind of like when you met Mark Steck or whatever. When you meet the person who first ignited that real spark, because I'd always trapped since I was 8 years old, just a little bit. When I started watching his videos, really started getting interested in it. But what he did was he got me into the fur handling side of it. And now, you can see the amount of stuff I got in here. I love handling fur. And that to me, I owe the guy a lot. Because getting me into something like that I spend so much time doing now, it was an honor to meet him, to say the least. Awesome dude. These 2 days are the only days that we haven't had a thunderstorm in a month. Scab, send that rain this way. We can use it. Caught a badger yet? Boston, I've caught 5 or 6 badger in my lifetime, I think. The one badger I actually caught, I'll tell you a quick story. There was a hole. This has been 4 or 5 years ago. There was a big oval hole, so I thought it was a badger in the road ditch, in the right of way. And I dug a little trap bed in there, and I bedded it was a 1 3/4 Duke. I bedded in there, and I sifted some dirt back over it, and I had a pan cover on it and everything. But I had always been told on a badger hole, if you just bury a trap in there like that, it's probably one of the better ways to catch them. And that's what I did. And I show up, I think it was the second check on that trap. I showed up, and I look at this, and the whole hole is just covered in dirt, the whole hole. And I go up there, and all I see is about this much chain running into this dirt. So I have no idea what's going on. There's something in my trap behind all this dirt. I have no idea what it is. And I start digging, and I see the big old claws. I'm like, oh, thank goodness it's a badger and not a skunk. That's all I was thinking. I'm like, I'm going to dig this out. It's going to be a skunk. I'm going to get blasted in the face, and I'm probably going to get kicked out of my house when I get home. But that's my badger story. It was digging that thing out of there. I had no idea what I was going to find. Hated wasting the animal. Only sad thing about taking care of the otter. Yeah, I get that 100%. I hate harvesting stuff that I'm not going to use. Caught a fisher by the end of the second week for the last 4 years. Only take 1 fisher and an otter, 3 bobcats a year. You must be up north somewhere, C. Bartley. That'd be cool, though. I think catching a fish would be pretty cool. Gonna bounce. Gonna get on Reach Live for a bit. All right, Iowa. You take care, buddy. Thanks for stopping in, man. Oh. Well, I tell you what, guys. I think probably the biggest thing that got me fired up when I was up there at convention was the temperature. It was the last day. The night when we went to bed, we could basically see our breath. I think it was like 48 or something. That cool weather will really, really get me fired up in a hurry. The second that weather starts cooling off here, it's going to get me fired up. Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia. There's Fisher in West Virginia, really. Interesting. Boston, I used to bass fish a lot. I got all the gear. I used to do it a lot, and now I like fishing for stuff that I can keep and either eat or use for bait. I bass fished hard for a couple of years. I think my personal best was, I think it was a 6-pound 10-ouncer was my personal best, which for Iowa is a pretty big fish. May see you alive later unless you go to bed soon. With the winking emojis. What is with this? Oh my goodness. This is outrageous. I just wanted to catch a martin. Yeah, Ty. Martin would be cool too. For sure. All right, Ruger. You take care. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. Probably put together some more pogos and start getting some cable on them. Trying to make over 1,000 pogos and have them ready here before season. So, Boston, you live in Iowa too, really? Do you know anything about trapping conventions at all, bud? I'm curious. If you don't, that's totally fine. But if you do, I'd highly encourage you to come to one. I'd love to talk to you, answer all the questions you have. Iowa Trapper, you're going to get so many winky faces later on your live. I will stop in on purpose just to return the favor. I hope you know that. 16-pound roadkill fisher 2 years ago. Yeah. So is that a good one, C. Bartley? Because I was sitting at the Sleepy Creek booth one of the days. I don't remember what day. And this lady came by, and she had a picture of a 22-pound fisher. And apparently that was in Wisconsin. Pretty sure. Boston, so there's the national convention that I was just at. That one was up in Michigan. But depending on what part of Iowa you live in, this year's up in Osage, Iowa. It's pretty far up there north, but yeah, you can meet all sorts of different people at the Osage convention for sure. I feel like the Iowa State Convention is one of the better conventions that I go to usually. As far as the state convention goes, it's a really good convention. But not sure how far that is from you. You not having a driver's license, that might be kind of tough unless you can convince one of your parents to bring you. But it'd definitely be worth going to. If you love trapping at all, you'd show up and you'd be in awe at all the stuff. It's fun. Conventions are always a good time. Is that wink thing what Justin told me about you and I holding hands skipping down the main road? No, Jeff, it's not. This winking thing is just a tonight thing. I don't know what is going on with it. But man, oh man. Yeah. And he said we were holding hands. I hope you know. So here's a funny story. So we accidentally matched that day. We both had orange shirts on. So Justin Steins, however you say it, from A&J Skinning Machines, he told Jeff, who was looking to pick up one of my T-shirts, that me and Iowa were walking around in orange shirts skipping and holding hands. So come the following day, I get up out of my tent, I go and take a shower, and I put one of my green Next Gen Trapper shirts on. I'm walking back from the shower with my shirt on, and I look up and I see Iowa in front of me about 100 yards, and I see that he's wearing his green sheet or his green shirt. And safe to say, I went back into my tent and changed into my gray shirt just so there wasn't any holding hands jokes going on. Yeah, long story, but yeah, it was pretty funny. Otter Cat, if you're talking about a vid of us skipping and holding hands, no, you did not. That did not happen. Really, C. Bartley? Okay. Yeah, because she was talking that it should have been a state record, but the state of Wisconsin went away with their state records, and they're trying to get them back, or they're in the process of getting them back, something like that. But it was 22-pound fisher. I remember her saying 22 pounds. It looked like, it looked ginormous. Boston, I got so many trapping stories. I got to think about one. A funny one? Yeah, I really have to think. I've hit my head on a lot of. I guess one funny story that kind of has to do with the bridge thing. I was running underneath the bridge. I think I was pre-staking actually. And I was running down there, all hyper. It's time to get out, whatever. And I hit my head on this bridge so hard, and there was a big metal beam I hit my head on. It knocked me right off my feet. And I remember sitting there, and all I could hear was that metal beam ringing like a gong. So I hit that thing with some pretty good force. Did it not happen, or do you just not remember it happening? No, it did not happen. We were on a golf cart driving around the dirt track at like 1:30 in the morning, but we were not holding hands and skipping down the street. I promise you that. Otter Cat, no, I know it didn't happen for a fact. I got to think of some other stories. I got so many. I've had beaver pop out of a trap right in front of me one time. That wasn't very funny, though. That was more aggravating. Boston, I'd tell you if I wasn't on here, man. I don't give out that information on YouTube. I get so many terrible comments about what people think of me and what they exactly want to do. So I don't share any personal information like that on here, but I am from Iowa, though. I will share that, and I will be at the convention. That one time at a trapping convention. Yeah, we got a lot of statements that start like that, especially from this convention. It was a great time. Great time. I gotta think of another funny story now. I've taken a couple people with me and held up an animal right to the window and scared them before when they weren't paying attention. I've done that a couple different times. I don't know. I guess that one skunk that I picked up in a 220 that wasn't dead and it sprayed me, I guess that one's kind of funny. It wasn't funny for me. It was rather stinky, but I don't care if YouTube commenters know my town. Just remind them to look. Yeah, Scout, that's a good point. Only reason I really don't like sharing out my information is mainly because what I am trapping is public. And if people knew where I was, anyone can go trap that stuff. And I run basically into no competition. And I like it that way. I want to keep it that way. The competition, like Aaron, we've never ran into each other. He goes his way, I go my way. We don't compete with each other at all. The only competition me and Iowa Trapper have been in is there's these giant nachos for sale at the convention. And there's a lot of people that couldn't even finish the whole nacho. They were so big. And I got all mine down, and Iowa Trapper didn't. So I guess that was the only competition we've really had. NTA Southeastern Regional Convention, October 6th, 7th, Crossville, Tennessee. Ottercat, are you going to that? That's in Tennessee. That's way too far from me. Austin, what is the best bait you think? The best bait, it depends what kind of. Talking about a dog proof, in my opinion, cat pure anise. Mix a little bit of that in there. That's what I do for dog proof. Now for a pocket set or water trapping or something, carp. If you're targeting raccoon. Referring to the ones who tell me how evil I am. Yeah, Scab, that's true. That's true. I get all of it, and they fire it all at me, and it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. It's just more annoying than anything else. It just shows what people they are and what they say. Oh, they think they're so right with everything. They think they're so nice, but yet they'll tear us apart, and I have no problem with it. So if it doesn't fit what their agenda is, they really don't care for you, and it annoys me, but is what it is. I have a lot more people on here that support me than people who despise me, so that's a good thing. 20 minutes from you. There you go. Yeah, cat food's a good bait to use. I've used plain cat food before too. My problem is I trap underneath quite a few bridges, and I like having that pure anise in there if I'm dog proof trapping. I think it gives it more pull as far as drawing them to the set than just dry cat food would. But that's just me. Got you in a bush light contest though. You might. I don't know. I just turned 21 a couple weeks ago. So I do know that we drank our fair share of it up there at the convention. I can promise you that. Promise you that. Man, what a good time though. I'd highly recommend to anyone going to a convention. Just get some buddies and go. It's fun. We had the one night, I think we had around 75 or 80 people around the campfire. It was a fun time. Fun time for sure. We had our own little group up there. It's called the Iowa People. Is what the people were called. There's probably 30 of us camped there. Maybe a little less than that, 25 maybe. That were camped around there in that little area. I actually had a lady pick me up on a golf cart. She's like, "Oh, where are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm camped over here." And she's like, "Oh, you're one of the Iowa people." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's wrong with that?" So, yeah, I don't know. The only thing about the regional convention is that it's after the start of our season. Yeah, Scab, I get that. That's my biggest problem with a lot of like little get-togethers and stuff. They'll either be in trapping season or they're in deer season. That to me is a problem. I'm too busy during deer and trapping season. How you find good trapping spots? Boston, I do a lot of driving. That's what I do, looking for trails. There are key markers. There's key landmarks to finding good. If you're talking raccoon trails, there's key landmarkers, whether it's a big lone tree, it's the only tree along that fence line. That'll draw coon across there. If there's some sort of structure around there. Timber to corn is the biggest thing for me. You got timber on one side of the road, corn on the other. Going to be a bunch of coon trails. It's almost a guarantee. My favorite thing to trap is culverts, looking for low spots, going from normally timber to corn. That's my favorite thing to trap. And then bridges, if there's any sort of timber around anything that's got water in it, there will be coon there. You said you're from Iowa, so there will be coon there. I promise you that. Hey, see you, Trapping Bros. Thanks for stopping in, guys. I'll make sure to get those shirts to you here soon. I'm putting in another order here, so I'll get them to you here before too long. Yeah, guys, we're probably going to start wrapping it up here before too long. My voice is actually starting to leave me here, so probably wrap it up here in another couple minutes or so, I suppose. Of course, Iowa said he's probably doing a live later, so hopefully he'll do one too. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it a night here. I'm starting to get tired. I'm not going to bed. I promise you that. I'm going to do a little bit more work out here. Then I'll head to bed. So anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all stopping in here, and hopefully we'll be doing one soon. I'm going to post a video tomorrow all about my 220 boxes. So I know there's been a lot of people asking for those 220 boxes and videos on them. So that's what's coming tomorrow. But anyways, thanks, guys. Till tomorrow when I post that other video.